Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Indigo here. I hope you're having a good day or good night, whatever time it is when you watch this video. Okay. I literally need Lil John to do my okay for me, because like then I'll just feel like my life is complete and like I made it and like life is just perfect. So my daughter is being funny in the background. One, let's acknowledge that. Ooh. Yo, what the fuck? Okay, first of all, series of things I gotta tell you guys. Cause I was gonna like start the video over, but fuck it, we in this bitch together. My connection with spirit realm is heightening. Okay? I keep finding puddles of water. Like they're always like this big. Just puddles of water. There's a fucking net. Let me get my sage real quick because hold on, bro. Okay, so my connection with the spirit realm is definitely heightening. I'm not scared because my life has been spooky for forever, but spirit definitely did tell me to sage after I literally cleaned every crevice, every corner, every cobweb, every fucking piece of everything that I could possibly get my hands on. Like I literally cleaned the fuck out of it because I'm just like, the energy, it's time to renew it, baby, period. Let's get you some sage in there, Nug. Okay. I'm wearing all black because it's my funeral. Keep dying. Right, and I feel like that's the scariest part about the spiritual journey is the acknowledgement of the self that you once knew constantly, continuously fading away into the abyss. And something of a newer structure being born, which is yourself and the ascension of your soul. It's crazy. But I definitely wanted to discuss something, and I'm gonna add this into like my shadow work vlogging series that I'm doing on my channel, because like I don't owe anybody an explanation, right? But I do find power in leading by being the example. So I came to the conclusion, and I'm pretty sure I've touched on this in other videos, but this is just like a full-blown consensus of an understanding of myself, or an aspect of the older version of myself. Healing people brings me a peace of mind. In the past, that peace of mind would still be there even if it came at the cost of my own self. Whether it be a spiritual aspect of myself, a physical aspect of myself, or whatever have you. So much so that I've always been the kind of person to seek out individuals, especially romantic partnerships, that I felt like I felt like my existence would add value into their lives, okay? In the sense of assisting them spiritually. And while understanding that the teacher also is the student, I understand that this is an interesting conversation because it's like it's depths to it and it's really deep and it causes me to be extremely vulnerable and I'm just like, am I ready for that? But no, seriously, me understanding that, you know, I've always found value in myself through allowing myself to sacrifice myself to help other people transcend. Now, this is extremely diabolical, right? Like, this is the energy of, oh, I'll take a bullet for anybody, like, energy, right? When I used to hear that, I'd be like, oh, that's such a selfless thing to do, right? And now when I hear that, I'm like, don't you have things to live for? Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, you know, fuck people, don't save them. I'm saying like, in a sense of, bitch, bullets is flying. If I'm not taking one for my kin, then what am I really doing here? Negi is learning how to talk. I think it's the cutest thing in the world, to be honest. We just ate plantains. I made like plantain chip thingies, and she thought they were so good. She's like, And then I let her try the sauce I made, and she was like, super cute. Yeah, I've allowed myself to like be involved in things and be involved with people and places that I know that I have absolutely no business being involved in. Now, a part of me understands that this is because of the fact that my light is meant to be brought into darkness to pull people into the light, right? And essentially, I feel like my whole existence is centered around me sacrificing myself to a certain extent. Now, I feel like the narrative of this is changing because I'm understanding how to still lead people into the light without sacrificing myself. And this is the acknowledgement of how much to give, who to give it to, you know, when is this appropriate and when is this not appropriate kind of energy. And this recent situation where, you know, I allow someone into my energy with the hopes of creating romantic partnership came with the understanding of this person being a huge lesson and initiation in my healing journey. You know, like when you look at something and you're like, I think I like this, but I'm not sure. And it's like an item, and like you're shopping and you're like, you know, I'll shop around and like I'll see if like anything else grander catches my eye. Now, sometimes this could be because you're on a budget. Sometimes this could be because of the limited options that the store has, you being able to have access to, so on and so forth, right? This is essentially an analogy. And I feel like for an amount of time, I looked at people as being the worth, and I didn't look at myself as being the worth. So it became me looking at myself as an item as opposed to the bag to obtain the item. Right? So I feel like when we speak about the bag has worth. Not to say that the item doesn't, because you're using the bag to buy the item, but there are so many other items, you know? And if you have the bag, you can pretty much buy whatever item that it is that you want. I hope that you're picking up what I'm putting down. This is the best I can do. To me, understanding that the reason my choices have been what they have been up until this point is because I have been used to sacrificing myself for those who I am very much so aware do not deserve it. It's like in the past I could see all the red flags and because I'm empathetic and I'm a psychic and all these other fucking abilities, right? I see beyond the veil of why people are the way that they are. And me having the capacity to unconditionally love others has been the reason that I've been involved in things that I never should have even been involved with, right? Also, lack of self-worth. So the bag analogy is me saying that I had a lack of self-worth, and in understanding that, I knew that the divine will always usher in people, places, and things that are meant to help us grow, evolve, and ascend. So when I go into something, it's always extremely objectively, very analytical, analyzing everything, because I'm aware that overall there's a lesson that needs to be learned here. So with people, places, and things from my past, I always felt as though I would never be accepted in those environments had I not sacrificed myself. And this gave me a sense of self-worth because I truly had no identity when it came to if I loved myself, if I valued my life. I feel like for a lot of time in my life, I lived as though like, I know that I'm special, I know these things, but knowing and embodying are two completely different things. And for a longer period of my life in the past, I had really no want to thrive or dedicate the time and the attention to thrive in my life because I truly didn't see myself even living to be 26 years old, to be completely honest. And now that I'm 26 and I've grown and I've learned so much about life and myself, I have this newfound understanding for what it means to love myself, okay? And this has come at a cost of, you know, people choosing to decide that they can just do whatever it is that they want to do with me, and me still being around. Now, this was the biggest lesson that I had to learn because I know how strong my cutoff game is. Like when I cut you off, you're pretty much dead to me. Like That's just the best way I can describe it. Like, when I cut you off, you're pretty much dead to me. And this is where, like, my shadow kind of steps into play, because my shadow is like, what the fuck are you here for? Like, what the fuck are you, like, my shadow understands my worth at its fullest capacity, and my shadow has always been there to protect it, but then, like, defend its honor in a toxic manner. So the growth in which I have obtained spiritually, I understand now that my healing journey is everlasting, just like everyone else's, right? And there are so many layers to peel back and to look at and to examine and to so on and so forth. And I accept the challenge. But right now, I feel like I'm reflecting on the fact of people only do what you allow them to do. And I allowed this man to energetically invade my space because it gave me a sense of not feeling alone at a time where I felt like I needed someone. And when people say, you know, go to God, my younger years essentially revolved around me always communicating with spirit, like spirits, plural. Because even in a crowd full of people, I always was alone. There was never anybody that I can unfold my truest form to. And even those that I could, it was like I was teaching them. It wasn't like we were having a conversation. It was more of me being a teacher by leading by example. So recently, it's like I've looked for outer validation to my spiritual experience, because I've lived this spiritual experience for so long that at the most crucial point in time, it felt like I could lose my fucking mind, to be completely honest. Because when you have people that are doing fucking voodoo, death ritual magic, you got people just fucking going ham. It's like, bitch, can I decipher the demon from God? Like, am I coherent? Am I making the right choices? Like, I need somebody to tell me. Like, that's the trick that they throw onto you. And I had to decipher what the fuck that trick was. And essentially, this situation was the situation that taught it to me. And it's brought me closer to my spiritual team, because my spiritual team never blindly allows me to go into anything. Like, my spiritual team warns me of everything. My spiritual team is the reason why I am always aware of what's taking place, even if I haven't outwardly expressed it, either verbally or through action. So this is why I'm always open to the broader understanding of the lesson that has to be learned. And this situation really made me understand that my value in self needs to be acknowledged from myself. Like, I can't look to other people to validate my spiritual experience, because the spiritual experience is truly your own experience with your spirituality, with your creator, whoever you consider to be your God, right? And so many men in my life have tried to play God. Like, it's just a reoccurring narrative. And to a certain extent, I've allowed it. But this whole entire lesson has brought me back to myself. Like, I'm a spicy ass individual. Like, I'm very much so spicy. Like, baby, I don't I don't view the world the same way that everybody else does. When like you have to be modest and you know your dress has to come past your knees and like oh you need to cover up your boobs and like oh you need to do this or oh you need to do that. Like I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, to be completely fucking honest. Like imagine I was a cam girl. So for me to go from the perspective of having someone tell me that it's degrading and me allowing that perception to alter my perception, to me literally posting normal pictures on the internet, to me visibly seeing someone masturbate to my pictures on the internet that aren't even provocative. Bitch, and I didn't get paid from it either. Like, this perception has blown my fucking mind. Because it really made me view life as you have to figure out what is worth it to you. You have to come to terms like God doesn't judge me. God has never judged me. Like God has literally never judged me for anything that I've ever done in my whole entire life. And I feel like I need to step away from other people's judgment, other people's validation, other people's just perception on my existence at its eternity to really formulate back into my own self. Like it's all indoctrination at the end of the day, and I've allowed myself to be indoctrinated to a point to where I overthink every single fucking thing that I want to do in my life at this point. Like, and I've never been a person to be like that. Like I've always been like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I fucking do it without hesitation, without remorse, without regret. Like, cause it's, to me there is no such thing as loss. First of all, there's no such thing as loss because there's always lessons, and I'm here to learn those. She's like, why are you not over here? So this is like essentially me just acknowledging, like, you really can't base your life or your existence off of other people and what the fuck it is that they say. Like, I'm truly starting to understand the thing that I keep saying that I'm tired of doing has been the thing that has literally propelled me forward in my life. Like, and I have to stop running away from it. And I also have to release judgment and expectations from other people, because when you go through a relationship as a woman with a man that's extremely abusive, you know, mentally especially, it really takes a lot of effort to pull yourself out of that. And like, to experience, you know, people seeing you as being so valuable, but only to the point to where they want to utilize you and then walk away from you, like, that's traumatic in itself. Like, especially when you're overcoming abandonment issues, right? Like, all these things on top of each other has essentially forced me into the acceptance of who it is that I am. Like, I can't ignore myself and my individuality, and I can't give a fuck about what people say or what they don't say. Like, people make comments about things, and like, because I have been consuming a lot of different types of content, unknowingly I've adopted people's perception of things that I truly don't resonate with. And I feel like this whole situation is essentially made for me to come back into to the understanding of the power in which I carry and the uniqueness that my mind holds, and how I don't owe anyone a fucking explanation about why it is the way that I am, or how it is that the way that I am, or why I'm doing the shit that I choose to do. Like, I officially opt out of giving a fuck about other people and what the fuck it is that they have to say about me, because all in all, I'm still a fucking child of God. Like, I'm still God's favorite. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I could literally do anything and God would still fucking love me. Like, and that doesn't mean I'm just gonna be like, fuck it. Like, no. But there are a lot of things that I do and partake in that literally cause no harm to me or to anybody else. And I'm so overly critical of it. And like, I don't feel like, I feel like anything that doesn't take away from what your creator asks of you, then you really have, like, there's no, you have to differentiate the voices too between God and the devil. Because I find that the devil has been the voice that has been holding me back and keeping me stagnant. And I find that God's voice has been harder for me to accept because it's been me literally looking in the mirror and having to accept myself as I am and feel comfortable embodying that and walking in that character. Like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot. And like, disregarding opinions and perceptions of other people from the past that don't truly describe who it is that I am in my entirety of a soul, an entity, a human vessel. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is fucking revolutionary, and like, I don't like to place the blame on all other people. Like, yeah, what people do to you is fucked up and they shouldn't be doing it, but at the same time, I have to step out of the realms of sacrificing myself to validate other people and their existence, because it doesn't do me any good. And I feel like this message is for my collective. Like, whatever the fuck it is that you want to do, if you feel called to do it and you have that relationship with your spiritual team and you're getting that motherfucking green light, then bitch, take it. And who gives a fuck what anybody else has to say? And you have to disregard and do whatever it is that you need to do to eliminate that unnecessary noise that people try to create in your mind. Like, I want to sell food to people because I'm a great fucking cook, right? And then you got motherfuckers making fun of that, but they sell drugs. Like, what the fuck? Like, bitch, why would you give a fuck about what a person that sells drugs have to say about you? Like, make it make sense. I'm selling substance. You're selling codependency. And like, it could be seen as either or, right? But it's about the intention behind it. And I just really am going to start advocating acceptance for every fucking body, because I really feel like that's the thing that creates peace on earth. Like, even with people who are of a lower vibration and kind of fucking suck. Like, honestly, I should hate all you niggas that's just been raping me in the spiritual, right? But I don't. I have sympathy for you. And it's like, I've allowed this to take place because I understand that without my energy, you truly wouldn't be or amount to anything that it is that you wanted to. And I'm not giving myself all the credit, but I'm acknowledging how much value in which it is that I hold, and that if you didn't access my energy, these lessons that you've been initiating into learning, you would have never been initiated into learning. So it's give and take with everything. And I just am in the season where I have to give more to myself, and like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, so that's what I want to say for right now. That's all I got for you guys today. Today has been a very self-reflective period, and I feel like there are just extreme breakthroughs that I'm making, and I feel like my collective is going through the same thing, and we're making them. And being 26, being of a younger soul, but an advanced soul, you have to acknowledge that youthful spirit within yourself, even with all the wisdom that it is that you carry. So it's like, stay forever young, live freely, and be a bad bitch, like, period. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.